I'm Arin De Silva.
And Tim De Silva.
And we've been, with my son, we've been racing go-karts now for about 10 years. We went from go-karts to racing vintage Formula One cars, and now racing these.
Awesome. So you've been racing how many years?
10 years now.
You've been racing 10 years.
Right.
We've both been racing 10 years.
Both racing 10 years.
Started at the same time.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
So it's half his life, only about 20% of mine. About PacificF2000 is its West Coast base. So Tim's in school, I'm working. This way you can drive all the tracks in California, but you're not flying, you're not traveling, right? So that's the reason to do a Pacific series. F2000 is by far the most competitive series out there, and the cars are great training for driving a modern Formula car. They're modern and they're safe. If you look at, I don't know if you looked at the cars closely, but they have incredible crash protection.
Coolest thing has been stepping in the cars that I watched him drive for so long and always dreamed of driving, and then to get to step in the exact same car. I know for a fact that, growing up in a racing family and being exposed to so many people in the world of motorsport, I know I want to be involved in it for the rest of my life, so I'm just going to figure out how the best way to do that is, or what the best way to do that is.
To me, it's not just the racing, it's being able to do something with your kid, and I think if you have a son or a daughter who enjoys racing, there's lots of ways to participate, and people often think of it as kind of a one-person sport, but as you've seen when you come out here, it's really a team sport. So your mom can participate, a lot of people with family can participate. So it's really a much bigger sport than just a single-person sport, and I think that's kind of, people think about it the wrong way sometimes.
My name is Dave Freitas. I own DFR, a prep shop out of Whittier, California, and I'm out here today testing with Peter West. Peter West is a driver for DFR. He's been with our team for 20 years. He also runs the PacificF2000 Championship, and he was the driver we were running today during the test. Basically run the car as like the team manager, oversee the data acquisition, going over the data, driver coaching, things like that, and just basically making sure that the car runs properly and whatever changes we want to make get implemented during the day. Back in '91, I believe, was the first race that I did. It wasn't PacificF2000 back then, it was the US F2000 series. And since '91, it's been quite a while. I like working with young and older drivers. The young kids that come in, they're easy to mold. Sometimes the older drivers are sort of set in their ways. It just depends on their attitude when we get them. A lot of the kids sometimes they can be the same way. They've got an idea in their head what they want to do, and so they're a little resistant to change. But I like working with the younger kids, older guys. It really doesn't matter to me. It's just if they've got the right attitude and they're willing to learn, that's really all I can ask for. Pretty much over the last 25 years, all we've been doing at DFR is open wheel racing, small bore cars like the one pictured behind me. The car behind me is a Van Diemen Formula 2000 car. This basic design came out in early 2000s, and it's changed and evolved a little bit over the years, but the basic package has stayed the same. What's good about it is, from a cost standpoint, it uses a production-based engine. The motors aren't that expensive to maintain. The chassis itself is easily repairable. They're really tunable cars, and they're updatable, so you can take a car that's 10 years old and update it to a car that's a day out of the factory. Well, on the West Coast, if you're going to come from karts, really this is the best series as a stepping stone from a go-kart to, say, you want to be a professional driver and move up the ranks to Indy Light, IndyCar. What it does is it teaches you everything you need to know in those cars, the bigger cars, teaches you all the basics without the costs that are involved with those more expensive cars. So you're going to learn everything you can learn in an Indy Light car, but at a fraction of the cost. I think one thing about the series that's a real benefit is hard work does pay off, and we've seen that in the past with drivers that really give 100% and don't just kind of go through the motions. The guys that actually put in the effort, put in the work, it leads to other things, and it's not just a guy that's writing a check to race the car. It actually, at some point, if you're good enough, you do your work, you're going to move on and continue to progress through the ranks. So there is that outlet. I mean, a lot of series don't have that. You can just race all you want and it's not going to lead to anything. But in this series, if you do what you're supposed to, good things will come.
Some of the most important aspects of the Pacific Formula 2000 series are, number one, this is an official part of the Mazda Road to Indy. So what that means is that the champion of our series at the end of the year goes to a shootout. If that person is lucky enough to win the shootout or good enough, then he or she will get a $200,000 scholarship to go to the next level, which is the USF 2000. From there, they can go all the way to IndyCar strictly on scholarship money. And that's really rare. That's probably the most important aspect. The other most important aspect is the level of driving talent in this series is so good. I've been in other pro series before. I've been racing for a very long time. I've driven Pro Formula Atlantic, I've driven Pro Formula Mazda, and the talent level in this series is exceptionally high. Probably one of the most compelling aspects of this series that would attract people to it is the value for the money, because this really is not all that expensive to do. Other comparable race series are in the $300,000 to $400,000 a year range in terms of budget, and this can be done for a pittance. There are independent privateers that are running in this series that probably spend no more than $50,000 or $60,000 a year, and that's rare for something this good.